concealed on a porch a letter said. Then you said, I wanna leave it again. Once I saw her on a beach of weathered sand, and on the sand I wanna leave it again. Yeah, on a weekend I wanna wish it all away. And they called and I said that I want what I said. Then I called out again. And the reason I ought to leave her calm, I know. I said I don't know whether I'm the boxer or the bag. Oh yeah, can you see them out on the porch? Yeah, they don't want to wave. I see them round the front way, yeah. And I know I don't want to stay. Makes me cry. Something else. I wanna drum it all away. I said I don't know whether I'm the boxer or the bag. Oh yeah, can you see them out on the porch? Yeah, but they don't wave. I see them round the front way, yeah. And I know that I don't want to stay. 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 Yeah, I know that I don't want to stay. Makes me cry.
Welcome to Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the book report. Please welcome your host, already on stage. Oh, yeah, already on. It's Jesse and Dana.
It's been a whole month.
It has. Last month I ate soup instead of talking about books.
Oh yeah, we missed last month.
Yes.
Yeah. What happened? Were we sick?
No.
Was it stress?
It was. Well, I know that
Was it mental health?
Well, I know that all the people that I would have asked to book the show were also at the soup party that I was invited to, and I was like, no one's gonna say yes, and so it's like, well, maybe we just not book anyone and have the day off.
Yeah, I think that happened. It happens.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened to us too often,
No.
but it's happened.
Yeah.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yay, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Where'd you dig that green out from?
Actually, I think I got this as a birthday present last year because I am notoriously known for headbands, so this was a present for my birthday.
It's very glittery.
Yes, I like glitter and
Does
sparkles.
it leave glitter in your hair?
I don't know. This is the first time I've worn it because
Okay.
green is not really a color of mine.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't like it too much either.
I like green as a color, but as far as clothes goes, I'm not gonna be gravitated towards it. So I
don't even like it as a color.
Oh, I hate orange. I don't really like orange as a
You know
color.
what? I'm gonna put orange right after green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do orange and green make a color?
Brown? Puke? I don't. Baby poop? Gross?
What's new with you?
I don't know. I feel like there should be something new with me, and I'm just not doing anything. So that's fun. What's new with you?
Are you reading anything?
I actually just finished reading a book, and I brought it, and I was like, let's talk about this book.
Okay, so we'll talk about. Are we gonna talk about that now, or when we?
I can talk about it now because I'm not gonna do it. Right? Well, because it's such a fun book. It's called "Was It Even Abuse?"
Is that written by a guy?
No, it was written by, I guess this chick had an Instagram page where she shared information of you might be abused when kind of information, and then it just talks about what happens, things to look out for if you think you might be being emotionally or psychologically abused. Clearly, I did not relate to anything in this book with all the sticky notes.
I was gonna say those sticky notes came with the book.
Yes, I definitely did not take note. Nobody steal this book, or you're gonna learn some really personal shit because I wrote all sorts of stuff on sticky notes.
So you do the thing where the sticky note actually has a note on it, so that you remember why you stickied.
Well, because I would read things and be like, oh, that makes me think of this and this and this and this. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Because this is what happened. Or there's prompts in here of think of a time when I was like, oh boy, let me tell you. I was and then things that made sense. I'm gonna highlight this because this was something that I remember. And so I can't lend this to anyone now. They're gonna be like,
because it's got a lot of evidence.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in there. You can be like, oh, I don't want to know who you were thinking about.
I've always wanted to invite a bunch of friends over and leave out my copy of the DSM-5 and have post-it notes with stuff marked in their name on it just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that leave it in the bathroom.
Yes, because I had a coworker one time that I'm pretty sure was a narcissist. The only person that I was like, oh yeah, you were definitely a narcissist. And then I used to know somebody in my school days that I'm like, pretty sure you're a sociopath. But I don't have a degree or a license, so I can't diagnose you, but I want to so bad.
If you ever want help finding social, I'll hang out with me at an open mic and I'll point them out. There's lots of them. I started not reading a book, but I started listening to a book on Audible because that's what I do now. But I'm listening to "I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter" by Erica L. Sanchez.
Okay.
And the reason I want to listen to it is because so the Oscars just happened recently, and Mark Maron had all of the, not all of them, but he had a lot of the Oscar nominees on his podcast. And America Ferrero.
Oh, yeah.
Ferrera? Wasn't even close. All three tries were wrong.
The F and the R, it's all good.
America Ferrera was on there talking about, of course, Barbie, but this I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter is gonna be her directorial debut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she was talking about how she told Greta Gerwig during Barbie that she was gonna be directing this, and that Greta Gerwig told her like, you have a free pass anywhere on the set, like you can watch anything, like ask anything, like and Giselle was saying how awesome it was to get to like pick Greta Gerwig's brain. Cause like, can you imagine like a first time director getting to ask somebody like, you know, up here and just that must have been so cool. But so that's gonna be her directorial debut. I'm sure it's gonna be years and years from now. But
Oh, fun.
so I thought it might take me that long to read it. But no, I also like I told my sister about it, and so my sister bought the hard copy, and so she's reading it. So we're kind of I don't know who's gonna finish it first. Probably neither one of us. We'll probably go see the movie, and we haven't finished it yet.
Yes.
Have you seen Dune 2?
No, so I've never read Dune. I think I might have seen bits and pieces of the original like movie, and then I saw the first installment, and I didn't follow any of it. And I'm like, I'll probably watch Dune while I like play Minecraft or something, because it's not really my jam.
Okay.
I don't dislike it, but it's just like not. I don't do a lot of sci-fi. I realized.
Like with sci-fi, does like Star Wars just check the box for you? Because like that's how it is with me. They're like sci-fi, I'm like Star Wars, maybe Star Trek. That's it.
Yeah. Like I tend to like space stuff that feels less spacey and more like people-y. Like I loved Firefly because it was like, yeah, they were in space, but it was really like, oh, it's also a Western, but also there's just these really interesting people. They just happen to be in space. So it was. I don't like a lot of the like.
I never. What was Firefly? Was it a movie, a series?
It was a TV series with Nathan Fillion. Yeah.
Not ringing a bell.
You shouldn't watch it now because you should not watch anything Joss Whedon does because he sucks. But when I was really into Joss Whedon, yeah, I liked it.
All right, that's cool.
I'd like to think that I was like, I just liked Joss Whedon before it was popular because one day I saw him.
For the same reasons?
No, one day I saw him in an interview and I was just like, something about this guy that like doesn't sit right with me, and I don't know why. Like I've watched his TV shows and his stuff for years, and I was like, why is this now just giving me this like? There's something wrong with this dude. It like creeped me out, and I was just like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And I don't know like why. I just got this vibe, and then years later, stuff started coming out.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah. It turns out one of the things that I learned with this book and also with therapy is that like I've been taught not to listen to my gut, and it turns out when I listen to my gut, it's right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I should just not listen to other people and listen to me.
Right. No, always listen to your gut.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Should we bring out our guest? Are you kind of excited?
Yeah. I'm super excited.
Yeah. All right. You want to bring him up?
Yeah. So our guest tonight is a wonderful friend with me and Jesse. It's Janae Loving. Woo!
Janae, how have you been?
I've been good.
What's new with you?
I actually did read a book this weekend. I have not been reading that many books lately.
This week or this weekend?
This weekend.
You
I
read a book over the weekend.
Book,
All
yeah.
right,
but it wasn't the one
it's
I'm
not
holding.
this one, but
no.
let's talk about it because the whole purpose of this is just to talk about books and nerd out for a little bit and maybe do an improv scene or two.
We'll get some recommendations. No, I read The Three Body Problem. It's coming out as a Netflix show, and I do love sci-fi. And
we're just shitting on it, right?
sci-fi is my jam, but I do actually prefer space sci-fi, aliens and people on spaceships. That is also my favorite. But
Here's the thing that I'm very, very adamant about. You can dislike something, and there's space for other people to like it. And don't be that kind of asshole that's gonna like yuck other people's yum. So I'm excited that you enjoyed space.
yes,
Sorry.
I don't know if I recommend this book. It was a lot of like lead up, like, and this person felt this way, and there was a lot of kind of like 1984, secret police taking people away because of what they thought in their head, kind of.
I thought you were saying like 1984 fashion, like
Yeah.
colors and like Miami Vice and
Some Madonna.
No, like heads in cages with rats.
Yeah, like George Orwell, 1984 type.
So, with not liking, okay, so did you read the book in anticipation of the series, or it just happened to going to be a series and you read the book?
I had wanted to read it before, and then I saw that the series was coming out, and I thought it looked good. And my husband said, no, you have to read the books before the series come out. But it comes out on Thursday, and there's like a couple 400-page books. So I got one down.
So you sound like the first book was just a bunch of explaining things so that you could understand what's going on
Like
later.
the last 50 pages were like, oh, this is what the series is probably going to be about.
So are you still gonna watch the series?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Cool. Do you you still read? Like it's still like something you do often, or was that like are you always going through a book?
I used to. My brain doesn't work anymore. It thinks it just doesn't. I can't pay attention to books. So I've been reading books that are for like the 8 to 12-year-old age range. Like if there's a girl and she's solving riddles, and maybe she's in like a mansion or a fancy library. That's kind of like that's my sweet spot right there. It's like some teenager solving riddles in a mansion.
What was your
haunted mansion?
What was your sweet spot before that? Like it's evolved to that from what?
My sweet spot before that was probably Jane Austen type books.
Is that what you brought today?
Yeah.
Oh, great segue.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was thinking that, like, what was my favorite book? What should my favorite book be? And it kind of goes back and forth between like all 6 Jane Austen novels except Mansfield Park. I can't get on board. I don't like that one.
I don't like the main character, Fanny Price. I think she's boring and not interesting. And then I don't like Edmund either as like her like love interest. Like not even the fact that they're first cousins bothers me. It's the fact that both of them are boring and I don't give a like.
So if you're gonna go with the first cousin, it's got to be exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're already breaking all the rules.
Right? Well, actually, I think it was okay. Technically, you can marry your first cousin in California, so it's not breaking any rules.
I want to
Did you
point out
research
that
No, I went to law school.
that is the second or third time that I've heard Dana tell me that today. So I don't know if you have a first cousin that's just on your mind.
No.
Because that is not the first time you have said that to me.
Today.
Yeah.
Today.
I was
Something
looking.
to talk about?
I was looking. No.
You know what Freud said, Janae, is just let them talk and they'll.
So, because I went to my cousin's wedding this weekend, and we used to joke as kids that my cousin and our other cousin, who were like a year apart in age, were gonna get married. And so she was at the wedding, and I was like, of course, like we don't want that to happen. That's gross. But I was just thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's gross, but it's legal in California. And then I was like, how many states is it legal in? And it's too many. It's way more than you would think.
No, it's not just the southern states.
No. Surprisingly, there's some very southern states where it is illegal, and I was like, that surprises me. Sorry, tangent.
Sorry. Back to your book, Janae.
Okay, would you like to hear all about it?
Yes.
When did you? I want a little bit leading up to. When did you first discover this book? Because I don't think you found it this year and read it.
No, I have read it.
This
I've
book's
read
been
it
with you your whole life. Kind of?
No, I've read it recently. I've read it within the last few years, but I read it because of a class that I was taking. It was not the first Jane Austen I had read, but it feels like the first because it was one of the first ones she actually wrote. I think it was the first one published. I'm looking out to the audience for, was Northanger Abbey? No, it wasn't the first one published, but I think it was the first one that she actually wrote.
Yes.
Yeah. I should know this.
I want to ask you another question about books in general before we get. Do you still have? Okay, because like this is going on in my world, in my house. I have maybe 100 books, and they take up a lot of room, and I want to purge, but I can't. It's hard. Do you still have a ton of books taking up a lot of real estate in your home?
Do I have a ton of books taking up real estate in our home? No.
Oh, but do you want to talk about maybe there is?
I do love books, but I don't like the smell of book dust. My mom has a bookstore, and anytime I go in there, I just start sneezing and like phlegm just like slides down the back of my throat. I'm just like allergic to that book dust. So
Has your mom always had a bookstore, or is this
for a
recent?
long time.
So did you like used to hang out at bookstore? Like, oh, that's dope.
That is nice because like it's a used bookstore. So if I went to work for her or I helped her manage, which I had, I would just take books off the shelf and like it was just like going into a bookstore and just pulling books off the shelf as if all books were free. Basically, they were for me.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, let's get into your book.
All right. Jane Austen books are really funny to describe because nothing happens, but like so much happens, and then there's just a lot of weird, unusual things that don't happen anymore that happen. So, Northanger Abbey is one of my favorites. It is a satire that's like making fun of like gothic, dramatic, like ghost story novels and like castle novels and just those like heroine being rescued kind of novels. So I love that it's like making fun of other books that Jane Austen loved, but also like made fun of.
One of them was The Mysteries of Udolpho, and I haven't read it yet, but I have it. Like, I'm going to read this one day.
Yeah, I tried to read it. It's very dramatic and it's a lot. And then, so the beginning of the book, the heroine, Catherine, the narrator describes her, and she's like, she's an ordinary lady, which is the opposite of these like gothic novels where they were just like the most wonderful, unusual, mysterious, enchanting heroines. Like, she's just a normal, average girl, except she just loves reading. So that's the main thing about her, is that she just loves to read.
Where does this take place? Where's this happening? At like what time?
It takes place like I can never mind, like around the early 1800s. So, yeah. And at this time, you could not, like a young woman could not talk to someone, especially a man, unless they've been introduced to them. So when she goes to like Catherine goes to visit this vacation spot with her neighbor, she had to go with her elderly lady neighbor, took her on vacation with her, like as a treat, and she like couldn't like make any friends until this lady would be like, oh, I know this person's mother, so I can introduce you to this person. So she has to make some friends. She falls very quickly for Henry Tilney, the dashing Henry Tilney. There's another character named James, and Jane Austen actually hated the name James. So if you know that about her, anytime you see a character named James, you can be like sus. You can be like, what?
Is Henry a good guy? Like, are we rooting for him?
Yes, he is an ordinarily normal guy. He's a guy. He's kind of oblivious through most of the book, but he is the hero in the end. Am I reviewing the book, or you want to hear the plot of the book?
No,
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Because it's funny, because I think this is one of the few that I haven't reread, and I was like, I don't remember him being particularly interesting.
No, everyone, because it's a satire of a gothic novel, no one is particularly interesting. Everyone is just pretty ordinary, instead of highly like dramatic and mysterious and dashing and dark and brooding. Just an ordinary nice guy.
So like when she's pursuing him, does she like basically have to like club him over the head because like he's like oblivious to it, or what's going on there?
No, Jane Austen's heroines are always like, well, I like him, but oh well, we'll just sit over here.
Is that why I relate to them so much? Because I'm like, I don't know how to talk to men. Like, some old lady introduced me to a
the other book that's in this book as well. One of the ways that she figures out that the guy might be having feelings for her again, because they used to be engaged, is that one of these like devil children, just a normal child, but in Jane Austen it's kind of known as like the devil child trope, it like jumps on her back and it's like, ah! And he comes and like takes the kid off and it's like, don't do that. And she's like, oh, maybe he still has feelings for me, because he rescued her from the devil child. So in this book, what I love is that she's like goes to this castle big house, not castle, where they live. And Henry and his family, she gets to like go visit with him and his sister and hang out with them because that's what they do in Jane Austen times. They're like, there's nothing to do. Come to my house for a month. Okay, sounds fun. And she's like, oh, maybe there's ghosts in this castle. Maybe there's a secret. Maybe Henry's father killed his mother. Like, and she just is like looking for mystery everywhere. And she's like pulling back curtains, and there's no jump scares. It's like the opposite of a horror movie. It's like, oh, it's nothing.
Nothing.
And that's why this book is just making fun of Gothic novels. And then near the end, though, Henry's father is like, wait a minute, I thought that she was rich and she's trying to trap my son, so I'm going to send her back to her house alone in a carriage, which is like the worst thing you could do to a young woman, is to make her travel alone, because that would probably ruin her reputation. You just can't, right? Remember, she can't talk to anyone unless she's been introduced to them. Like a woman traveling alone, a young woman, totally dangerous, an unmarried woman. So he puts her in great danger, and Henry is so upset by what his dad did that he proposes to her.
Oh, to like.
Which he kind of didn't even really like her that much before that. But he was like, oh, my father has wronged her. Now I actually love her, and I will ask her to marry me. So the point of this book is that there are not ghosts and ghouls and goblins hiding in castles. The danger to women is old, rich, white men. Yeah.
That tracks.
That is the moral of this book. No joke.
And do they get married and live happily ever after, or are there more books in the series that like kind of tell their story, or?
No, that's it.
That's it.
There's a lot of like fanfic Jane Austen like sequels, but I don't think this book has any. It probably does. They're probably like bodice ripping novels.
We're all fan fiction on the internet.
Yeah, I can't say there's not fan fiction for Northanger Abbey. I'm sure there is, but
have they made this into a movie?
Yes, they've made. Sorry.
Oh. Whoever.
Well, they've actually made all of them into movies. There was one time several years ago.
Several movies, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where if they didn't, like some of them they remade, some of them they just showed. I think it was on PBS or something, because I remember I watched all 6 movies and was very not. They cast Billie Piper from Doctor Who played Rose on Doctor Who, as Fanny Price, and I was like, no, she has too much personality. That doesn't work. Sorry, I'm still angry about that.
Okay, so Janae, if you were given the choice, the opportunity to either make this into like a major blockbuster movie, or would you rather it be like a 6-part Netflix series? Like, what would best suit this type of story?
Oh, I mean, definitely I like a long miniseries, because I like to just live in this world, and I like Jane Austen movies because I'm like, ooh, romance and clothing and manners and, olden times. But they're not like the books, because the books have the voice of Jane Austen, and you just can't replicate it in a movie.
Would you leave it in those days, or would you be daring and bring it modern? Or what if you could pick an era and like put it in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s? Would you do that?
I do love Clueless, which is a modern update of Emma. I do like that movie a lot. I think they did a really good job. So yeah, I would update this, and I would make it like a fake B-movie slasher comedy.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because you could do some like 70s, 80s like camp
Yes.
kind of, and just fake out. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Could you think of anybody you would want to cast in it?
I don't know. I'm old, so.
So pick someone from your olden days.
Maybe I would cast someone like Saoirse Ronan, because she's engaging and enchanting, but she also plays off just like normal average gal very well.
Like she could play boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could play just girl next door from Ireland.
You know, if you want to watch a fun retell.
And then Greta Gerwig can direct it.
Yes.
Set it in Lake Tahoe.
I from this area and I went to summer camp. There's got to be places. If you want to watch a really fun of another Jane Austen, a modern time retelling, watch the movie Fire Island. It's about a bunch of gay guys that go to Fire Island for a festival, but it's also Pride and Prejudice, and it's got Bowen Yang as the like Jane character, and he's delightful. I love him so much.
Bowen Yang is insane. Like anytime he comes on screen, I'm just like, okay, no one talk, because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's pretty funny.
And then Joel Kim Booster plays the main character, the like Liz Bennett, and he's very funny as well. So.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for this scene, Dana, or do you need some more?
I think so. I think I got this.
All right. Are you ready, Janae?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do it. Or you guys want to do it?
As you know, that I am the son of the CEO of this company here, and you know, my dad's kind of a bastard, and I really want to apologize for that and the way that he's been very sexist to you.
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
Yeah. I know that like he just cut all your hours and he smacked your ass and all that really inappropriate stuff. So to make it up to you, will you marry me?
Oh, oh, sorry. I was really not expecting that. You are the head of HR and the CEO's son. Nepotism. Yeah. Get up.
Yeah.
I thought that I just thought you were going to increase my severance package because I have this complaint about the hostile work environment.
Yeah, I thought about that, and I thought that's like, totally 2020's sort of thing to do. But I was like, you know what? We're an old-fashioned family. This company is dated back to like the 1800s. So I thought I would do the right thing. Your honor has been ruined by this company. So I just wanted to,
Wait. You said my honor has been ruined by this company. You're not talking about any of those pictures from last weekend at the Christmas party?
Oh, I mean, I talked to Barb about them. She took them off their Facebook, but the internet is forever. I think we found some and blurred out the boob, but.
Oh, okay. I'm just.
Yeah.
Just checking. Because this seems a little like 1824 and not 2024.
Yeah. Well,
that's a lot of carrots, though.
Oh yeah, it's a family heirloom. We used to have, a lot of property in places where you could get really cheap labor, and unethically. That's the kind of family we are.
You're old-fashioned contracts and things like that. But how does your family feel about prenups?
Oh, well, we like to have them very locked down by our lawyers, but we also don't believe in divorce. So there's not going to be any problem with the prenup or anything because you're going to be mine forever. And
yeah, I mean, I could get on board with the proposal. That's a very nice ring, a chance to come away with some money, maybe after like a 5-year, 10-year investment, 1, 2 kids, but this is not really the severance package I was thinking of.
Would it sweeten the deal if I told you we have houses in 16 different countries and you don't even have to see me that often?
Which countries?
Oh, definitely some with ocean views.
Okay. Hurricane seasons, though?
Sure, but we also have places where you can ski, Switzerland. I also am very rich, so I have some very, very special black market penis enlargement stuff done, so if that sweetens the deal as well.
Well, you've seen those pictures from the
And
party, absolutely.
Yay!
Thank you.
I can't not go blue, I'm sorry.
All right. I liked it. I think I want to read one of them. No, I think I'll
Watch
check
a
out
movie.
the Netflix.
Don't watch the Netflix Persuasion movie with Dakota Johnson. It is hot trash garbage.
With Dakota Johnson.
It's so mean. It's so mean to the story of Persuasion. It's terrible. Don't watch it. I'm so angry. That's my hill. But I mean, if you want to watch it, that's up to you. But I don't recommend it as your first foray into Jane Austen because it's not well made.
Okay. All right. Good job, Janae.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going next.
Yes.
Okay. So I brought two books because we never like I don't know. Okay, so I want to do my book report on The Outsiders, the classic, right? But I wanted to talk about one of my other favorite books of all time is Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis, and it's set in L.A. like in the early '80s, and it's a bunch of rich like Beverly Hills kids that like never see their parents except like when they need to get money or like get bailed out or like get checked into rehab. And I freaking love this book. It's like written in like a drug haze, and there's like certain chapters of the book that are just like one meandering. There's this one chapter that's just one sentence of like the guy is like totally drugged out at a cafe, and he's just describing everything around him, and then he gets up and walks to his car, and it's like the whole chapter is like one long sentence. But yeah, Bret Easton Ellis, he wrote like all of his novels are kind of crazy, and there's lots of drugs, lots of sex, lots of rock and roll, and takes place in LA, and I really love this book. But I decided not to do it, but I just wanted to talk about this book really quick for a second. But I'm going to do my book report on, the classic S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders.
So nice.
And this is actually, I want to show this really quick. It's signed by the author.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my niece got me this a couple years ago for Christmas, and it's a special edition. I think at the end of the book, it's got lots of it's got like letters that she wrote. It's got pictures of her. I think it's got like shots from the movie, like newspaper clippings.
Oh, I didn't realize it was written by a woman.
So okay, then that's where I'll jump in, right? So written by a woman when she was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
And when it came time to publish it, her publishing company said, we're not going to publish it as, I think it's Susie Elizabeth Hinton. We're going to publish it as S.E. Hinton because we don't want people to realize that this was written by a female and it would help it sell. You know, I had nothing to do with this decision, guys. Like,
Well, that was 50 years ago, so
yeah.
you were not old enough.
So it was written by a woman, and this is set in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to just talk more about. I'll talk about that at the end. So basically, it's a group of. So this town in Tulsa is not unlike every town that we kind of grew up in, where there's like a rich side of town and a poor side of town, right? Mm-hmm. And the outsiders or the greasers are, they live on the poor side of town, and their arch enemies are, of course, the Socias, the South Side Socias. So they're the north side. They live on the north side, poor part of town, and their rivals are the Socias who live on the south side of town. Ironically, some of them, even though they kind of live on separate sides of town, they go to the same high school. So they'll like see each other, and even though they like maybe they might get along or they might be in the same classes, like after school, like they're still like other side of the tracks. So it's like a rivalry. But the star of this, the main character of the book is this kid named Ponyboy, and he's like the youngest of three brothers, and he's like the smart, gifted, talented one. Mm-hmm. And his brothers, of course, like every family who's like struggling, like they want him to get an education and get on, get out of this town and to do good. But like Ponyboy has this like he's like, but these are my friends, and like this is what I'm supposed to be. And so he's kind of like torn because like he's like, of course, like why can't we just all get along type mentality. and it just talks about, I guess. And then there's another great character in the book. His name is Dallas Winston, who. So in the movie, like Dallas is played by Matt Dillon. Ponyboy. The movie's great because it like when the movie came out, it was like 1983, and it had like C. Thomas Howell, Rob Lowe, Matt Dillon, Tom Cruise. Like they were all in it. It was pretty awesome. Like at the time, it's still and it holds up. It's still a great movie, and but Matt Dillon's character Dallas Winston, he's like portrays like he's not really like in rereading the book and rewatching the movie, like Dallas is like he's not really a real person. Like he's like the embodiment of everything that is wrong with being associated to that side of town, right? Like people instantly don't like him, and like he like trouble finds him, and he just no matter what, even when he's doing the right thing, he messes it up and gets blamed. So like he's like the embodiment of like what is wrong with that side of town. So that's kind of like what I took from this the last time I watched the movie. I haven't read the book in a long time, but this is one of the books that I just love to pick up and read a chapter here and there. And I found this and I throw random bookmarks or like I buy stickers that I really love and I don't know where to put them, and I'll put them as bookmarks in my books. I think this one had another sticker too. Like I saw it. It's on a Sub Pop sticker, and it wasn't really marking a page. It was just in there. But I want to just end it by saying it's a great movie. It's a great book, and all this kind of all ties together. It's crazy. So I'm just wearing all this House of Pain stuff today because like it's like green.
Yeah.
But so when House of Pain like was a rap group in the 90s. When they were like big in the early 90s, they were on tour one time and they went to Tulsa, and he was like sitting with his friend. He's like, "This town's boring. What do you guys do here?" And his friend was like, "You want to see the Outsider's house?"
Yes.
And he was like,
Ooh.
"Yeah, I do." And he's like, "All right." And so while he's driving him to the Outsider's house, he's like, "Well, there's the movie theater." And then he's like, there's like a big scene that happens, not the movie theater. Well, the movie starts off in the movie theater, but then there's a big scene that happens in a drive-in. So like while he was driving him to the Outsider's house, he was pointing out, he's like, well, there's the gas station where the brothers worked, and there's the park where the rumble happened.
Oh, that's so cool.
And there's the drive-in, there's the school, and then they get to the house. And so they get to the house and it's like abandoned and like foreclosed, like it's just like an empty house. And he looks at it and he's like, they only want like $10,000 for this house.
What?
And he was like, one of these days I'm gonna buy that house. And like several years later, he ended up buying the house, and he's turned the house into a museum. And so you can, and I think there's like the last I heard about it, he was gonna turn it into an Airbnb. It's like you could actually like stay the night in the Outsider's house.
Oh, fun.
But I follow him. So the guy who owns the house now, it's Danny Boy, who used to be in House of Pain. And I follow him on Instagram, and he is constantly posting pictures of just movie star after movie star who, because they're just happen to be passing through Tulsa, realizes that the Outsider's house is now a museum, and they will like take selfies at Ponyboy's desk in his bedroom, and they all like sign the law. Like so many of the original cast and crew have come back to visit it, and they show where like in one of the parts of the house, like Matt Dillon has signed it and Rob Lowe has signed it, and Francis Ford Coppola directed the movie, so he's given them like all kinds of stuff to like put on display there. And it's really a cool, just this whole story of like this being a book that was written by a female, which was only 16 years old, and how it's held up, and it's like you could like change some of the stuff and tell this story, and it could be something that's happening in any town.
Well, I mean, listening to that, I'm like, oh, I know what it's like to be part of a small town and you like want to be smart and get out of there. I'm like, that sounds very familiar.
Did you get out of there?
I did. I didn't get very far, but you know, I mean, it was from Marysville, but you know, Sacramento is a big city, and metaphorically, I did.
All right.
So, like, when was I don't know if you said, but when was the first time you read this? Because it's.
You know what? I think this is one of those books that like they gave you like in 6th grade or 7th grade to read, or something like that. So that was the first time I read it, and I remember I read it in a day when I first got it, and then I like tore through all of S.E. Hinton's other books, and I like Tex and Rumblefish. That was then. This is now. They've made movies about all of them, and what's great is like all these movies were made in the '80s. So like Emilio Estevez, like Craig Schaefer, Matt Dillon, Mickey Rourke, all appear. Diane Lane is in 2 of the movies. Emilio Estevez is in 2 of the movies. Matt Dillon's in 2 of the movies. So it's all these same people. And just another tangent, another side note is like if you like all the stars that were in this movie, but like if you read the list of stars who auditioned to be in the movies, like Matthew Modine, Timothy Hutton, like all the other greats, Sean Penn, like all of these other people like auditioned, like wanted to be in this movie, but like these were the lucky ones that they got to make it. I mean, those guys went on to have great careers too, but.
So in the movie, who played Pony Boy?
C. Thomas Howell.
Okay. I'm sure if I looked at a picture, I would know who that is.
Yeah, I wonder if they have pictures. Oh, there's the original. Where's the original cover art? Yeah, maybe not.
And I don't know, like, that brings up something like, how do you feel about books where, like, they reprint them and then they put the movie cover on
I was
the
just
book?
thinking about that because now you have a good copy because now most of the copies you see are just like greased up like actors from the movie.
Yeah.
Just like, what book is this?
And it's right now. There's a Broadway musical of The Outsiders.
Oh, nice.
That's getting rave reviews, but I don't know because like they put out those commercials that say getting rave reviews. So I don't know, but they and it looks modern and it's a musical, and I think I'd watch it if it came to town, but I'm not going to fly to New York to.
We were just talking about how we're surprised that Elf, the movie, is not a Broadway musical yet.
Right?
Yeah.
That seems like a key musical movie.
Yeah, you go around Christmas time.
Okay.
Do you want to do an improv scene, Jesse?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay, so now that you're my campaign manager and I'm running for president,
Yep.
but I don't want America to know I'm a woman.
Ooh, okay, that's gonna be a little bit hard, but we've got like a lot of great. We know a lot of people in Hollywood because we control it, right?
Exactly.
So we can make you. So what are you thinking? You want to be a man? Do you want to be?
Yeah, I very much want to be a man.
Okay.
Preferably one with like your typical picket fence family. I know that I have these big old boobs, so I want to make sure that nobody sees them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get rid of them because I like them in my free time.
Okay, so you know what? I got a friend who used to work with the Talking Heads back in the day. Talking Heads are a big band in the 80s. David Byrne, they still got the big suit. He's got a big suit that's got like big shoulder pads, and it will make people stare here, not here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what we want. We don't want people looking here. We want people looking here. We could do that. Do you want to be Caucasian? Do you want to be African American?
Oh, I definitely don't want to change my race because that is not appropriate. Yeah, but you know,
Latinos are going to be big in a couple years. Think about it.
One of the problems that I have as a woman is like when I make arguments, they make sense and I actually have like logic and facts to back them up, and I don't know how to not do that. So how do I not do that?
Sorry, were you saying something? I was staring at my phone.
Damn it! This
Okay,
happens.
so listen.
See, this is why I want to be a man, because nobody listens to me.
Excuse me, I couldn't have it over here that you want to be a male candidate for president.
Yes.
You're going to need a long-suffering wife to stand behind you. So I'm happy. I'll send you my rates. I've got the blonde hair. I've got the blue suit. Now, if you want to have an affair, this is going to be my face standing behind you on the press conference.
I was just about to say she's on the page because we're going to need a scandal.
You know what? You're fired. You're hired. And see. Yay!
Sorry about the race thing.
Oh, no, that's fine. And I'm like, oh, yes, stand-ups. They do that kind of thing. Okay,
I just wanted to make you Mexican. All right. That was fun.
Okay.
Okay.
So I also bought a bunch of books. So I was like, if I'm going to do a book report and I want to put zero effort into like remembering a book, what could I do? I was like, oh, I could do Pride and Prejudice, but I feel like we've had enough Jane Austen. So I was like, what book do I want to talk about that's fun and that I'll just look up on the internet to refresh my memory? So I picked the book called Lost Boy, which is the true story of Captain Hook. So it's by Christina Henry, and she does a lot of like darker reimagining. So she's done like a couple reimagining books about Alice in Wonderland. They're super creepy, and I love it. So this one, the story is that like the main character is Jamie, and he's Peter Pan's like #1 lost boy, and he's been in Neverland for like over 100 years. And they're like, and he is like, I'm Peter Pan's #1. And Peter Pan in this book is a fucking psychopath. Like,
I love it.
yeah, so like he'll get the kids in and they'll want to do all these fun things, and he doesn't give a shit if the lost boys get killed. And he'll just go back to like the real world and get some more and, you know, churn them out like they're nothing. And so Jamie's like taking care of this one kid that Peter brought back because he was like 5 years old, and he's like, this is kind of, I want to protect this little kid. And he's starting to like realize, because when Jamie was taken, he was like 8 or 9, and now he looks more like 12, even though Peter Pan hasn't aged at all, and he's sort of like worried that like, I'm getting older and this is Neverland, and that's not a good thing. And so Peter Pan's like jealous that his best friend is like watching over this other little kid, so he gets so this other kid is jealous of Jamie because he wants to be like Peter Pan's #1 guy. So Peter Pan like doesn't tell him, but he tells him to go kill the little kid. There's a lot of days of child murder. And luckily the little kid gets protected, but Jamie's like, what the fuck, dude? And then they end up like having another battle where Peter makes Jamie fight the kid that wants to take his place, and then it's a fight to the death, and they're like sword fighting, and there's giant spiders that kill them, and there's also, you know, like pirates. And so one of the lost boys turns out to be a girl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
And so
Was there hints along the way? Like, you're like, I should have known.
I don't think so, maybe.
Like boobs or something?
Well, they're all young children,
sorry.
so no.
God.
I'm
just going to shut up.
So then of course, like throughout so anytime Peter Pan does something really fucked up, Jamie's like, maybe this isn't okay, and then he gets older. So I guess that's how you become an adult, is you worry about real life things.
Oh.
And so he's like,
sad.
yeah, so he's like, I'm gonna like jump off. I don't want to be with Peter Pan anymore. I'm gonna take the girl Sal, and I'm gonna take the little kid, and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go back to the real world and get the hell out of here. And there's also giant spiders that eat them, and so Peter Pan like chops down the tree where they can get the portal, because he doesn't want him to leave, because he's, again, psychopath. He's like, I own you. I don't care. I'm gonna kill as many kids as I want because it's my island. I don't grow up. And then in the end, Peter Pan sets a trap, and poor Sal gets killed by a crocodile, and that's how Jamie gets his hand cut off and eaten by the crocodile, and then he like puts a hook on it.
So that's what happened to the hand.
Yeah.
That's how Hook became Hook.
Yeah, and then Peter Pan curses him to like never leave the Isle, so he goes and becomes a pirate, and then becomes like so it's an interesting origin story for Captain Hook, of like, he was like, oh, I was one of Peter Pan's lost boys, and you're like, Peter Pan's a psychopath. So
then somebody just like took the story of Peter Pan and just made up a prequel.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then turn because you watch Peter Pan, you're like, Peter Pan's the protagonist, and he's so fun, and it's all great, and this one's like, no, this is nuts. This kid has like no empathy, doesn't care for anyone. He's like, let's go do these things that are scary and dangerous, and oh no, boys died, but there's more. We can find some more. Yeah, it's really dark, which is why I like it, because I like that kind of thing.
I already want young Macaulay Culkin playing
Yes.
Peter Pan in this.
Well, like when he did The Good Son.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Elijah Wood was great in that too. Yeah.
Oh, that's my. If Elijah Wood is ever single again and wants to come date me, I'm available.
You heard that, Elijah Wood.
Yeah. So I thought this would be fun because it's psychotic and murdery and a fun twist. I always love a fun twist on reimagining an old story.
Yeah, that seems interesting. I'd almost want to say I'd want to listen to that on audiobook, but
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't finish it.
I think it would be a really fun like movie or miniseries, just because it's like dark and drama and
Yeah, I think that needs to be a series.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who's gonna? Did we talk about how we're gonna do this thing? Was this gonna be you and Janae?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Okay.
You got it, Janae, or you got more questions?
No.
Oh, it looks like you got it. All right.
Let's go ahead and sit down, honey. I got your wedding planning book out. I just wanted to talk about some things. I have an idea that I wanted to go over with you. So this is what you picked out for the ceremony location, and I just wanted to run this by with you.
Okay.
So just have an open mind because we want it to be, what we both want. Instead of this wedding location.
Okay. The one with all the beautiful flowers and the trees and the duck pond.
It's so beautiful. What if we just stay home and eat soup?
Oh, I love you, and I want this wedding to be both of ours. I just don't think that our 300 guests are gonna fit in our home, and that's a lot of soup.
No, you're right. I wouldn't want to just, have 300 people come and eat soup and have, soup. I was just saying, you and I, instead of having this wedding at this venue, we just stay home and we just eat like a nice little corn chowder with all potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes in there.
If it's the time of year, the date, like I get we were like thinking like a late winter wedding because everyone gets married in the spring. But if it's too cold, and that's why you really want the soup, I don't mind moving it out another 6 to 8 months. To have a different time of year.
Some summer venues in here. Yeah. There was one that I liked. It was, you see this park right here? We were talking about being in the park. And then see over here in the kind of kiddie corner right there, there's a soup plantation right there.
Oh, that's actually a really cute place. Like, look, this is a classic neoclassical building, and it looks like, could they have a hall there
No, they just have a buffet where you have different kinds of soups. And then you and I could just go there, and then we could I'm kind of miming how it will look, but oh, we could even take the pictures where I'm reaching in with my left hand with my wedding band that we probably we went to the piece a different time. But this is just really about soup.
Because I got my mother's grand priest is gonna come, or pastor's gonna come marry us, and I at least need to have a few people there. But yeah, we should sign the documents at the wedding. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. Just courthouses give me rashes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting cold feet too, sweetie.
Oh no! I never said cold feet. Like
I still want to get married.
Yeah, me too.
I just every time I think about it, I think instead of getting married and having this big wedding, what if we just stay home and eat soup?
And see. I was like, I don't know where to go. I was like, oh look, it's almost 8.
That worked out.
Right.
Oh man, well, Jane, thanks. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's been way too long. And that's our show, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
All right, there we are. End scene. Thank you, everybody. That was the Book Report. We're not done here in theater. Sorry, at home viewers. We are done there. But we've got the open mic coming up at 8:30. Sign-ups in just a couple minutes, so I kind of have to be out there. But check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're live in person Thursdays through Sundays, and we stream everything we do 6 nights a week. Thanks for checking in, everybody. We will see you back here tomorrow at 6 for Riffest.
Wake up, grab a brush and put on a little makeup. Hide the scars and fade away that shake-up. Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? You wanted to.